What is Fresh Meals on Wheels? It is a program that has merged senior nutrition with the local food movement. We live in an area steeped in agriculture. Why not feed people with the food they grew up on? Everything we do as an organization, everything, is driven by our mission statement: enhance the quality of independent living through home-delivered meals and caring social interaction.
You might say the foundation of this entire facility is built on potatoes. The most often requested item by Meals on Wheels clients are real potatoes. Nothing gourmet, nothing elegant, real potatoes or mashed potatoes made from real potatoes. In this facility, we'll be able to provide those, and we're so grateful for this opportunity. In May 2010, a visioning session was held for Meals on Wheels board members at Wells Fargo Bank, downtown Sheboygan. At that time, the board was encouraged to consider what Meals on Wheels should look like in 2015. It was an excellent opportunity for the Meals on Wheels staff to find basically what our marching orders were.
The Meals on Wheels board gathered for a special meeting, a visioning session, to talk about the sort of the state of the union of the program. We wanted to decide what was good about the program, what could be improved about the program, and all with a focus on how we can best serve our clientele.
And in the beginning of my term, we had started talking about a visioning process. And we thought we wanted to really take a look at where Meals on Wheels was going to be in the next 5 years, 10 years, and beyond. And we were told to think big. So it was kind of interesting. The first process was over at the bank, and we kind of went through these flow charts and spent a lot of time just trying to determine where we want to be and how we want to get there. And in that process was birthed not only the idea of providing our customers and our clients, our friends, more fresh food, but we also got to the point we talked about, well, we can do that better if we had a building.
The board voted to essentially execute the plan that we had talked about in our visioning session a year previous, and an opportunity came up for a building that we could essentially transform into what we had envisioned, which was a better way to serve our customers and the community with meals that are going to be more healthy, prepared locally, and have a place to do it. And we cast a vote to purchase a building and start the process, and to start a fundraising campaign that would help pay for this project. And it was exciting because it was everything we had talked about in our visioning session was starting to come to fruition, and it was something that we had spent a lot of time talking about, but now we could actually do something about it. So that was what that vote and that whole meeting was about.
We start shopping for buildings. We talked about fundraising, and through Dennis Ohl, who I succeeded as president, and John Rumley, who followed me, those two guys really did the work. They were out there with Kelly, beating the bush, finding buildings, and finally came up with what we ultimately decided to purchase and close on.
We considered bare ground and whether we should start from scratch with the building or whether we should acquire an existing building and remodel it. We looked at sites all over the community, from the north side to the south side of Sheboygan and spaces in between. One of the driving concerns for us was price. This is a program that wants to be very conscious of costs and do things in a very cost-sensitive manner. But we were also very sensitive to location because we wanted to find a location that would be amenable to all of our volunteers. Not too far north, not too far south, a place where there was easy access in and out, a place where there was good parking. We located this parcel and had a very successful negotiation with the owners and resulted in buying the building at about half the price for which it was listed.
Welcome to the fresh new Meals on Wheels.
Well, Joe Schmidt and Sons. I'm Steve Schmidt, Joe Schmidt and Sons Construction Company, president of the company, and we were selected to be the general contractor for this project, and started from day one on the project, looking at the site, the building, and then and helping with that process also, and then to develop, working with the architect in establishing the floor plan, multiple floor plans, looking at different manufacturing equipment suppliers, toured some facilities for where product or this equipment was installed already, and looked at too, because I also have a passion with environmental friendly buildings, green buildings, and with the board's recommendation to go to more green products. We used ICF building product on the building, and we're just the whole thing with using local people, local manufacturers, keeping things within the area here. We work with Mayline, Kohler Company, Volrath Company, and many other local suppliers of the products and the equipment that went into the building.
Mayline, which is a locally based office furniture manufacturer, we got involved in the project through my relationship with Kelly Hine, and we're so proud to be part of such a great project. And we teamed up with Joseph Schmidt and Sons, Steve Schmidt, and I kind of rolled up our sleeves and helped design a number of offices and a large conference room and some of the common areas where some more kind of cafeteria-like product is going, and put our list together, and our two companies put our kind of financial backing behind this thing, and we're able to bring in some pretty nice furniture for this great new space.
At Fresh Meals on Wheels, we are delighted by the local ingenuity that's in evidence everywhere in this building. Whether it's the fixtures in the restrooms, the faucets in the kitchen, the generator out back donated by Kohler Company, or whether you're in our offices and you see the beautiful, beautiful furnishings that have been provided by Mayline Company. Next, you can go into our kitchen and see the incredible equipment that came from Volrath Company. Local people made that equipment. Also, the wonderful exhaust equipment provided by Keys Incorporated. There are a number of other things that you would find as you walk around our building, and one of the things that is perhaps most charming is the fork. The fork is part of our new logo, and we're so pleased that Saunders Cohn and his staff at KP Welding were able to develop and produce this incredible piece.
Well, the Meals on Wheels program here in Sheboygan County, I think, is unique. Mike and I spend quite a bit of time prior to taking on a project to do our research and find out what's actually, what the project's about, what's going on in the industry. And what we found in this particular project, again, is that there was a real love and intensity going on to be the best program that you can have, not only in the state but in the U.S. And so what we learned about other programs and how we brought that to this, I think we found that there's a lot more that's going to happen here than the typical Meals on Wheels program. Yeah. So I'll let Mike speak to that a little bit, all the different things that we kind of encountered.
Well, one thing in particular is the fresh produce that's coming in from the local farms. The level of just pouring out. When we first started this, it was a farmer had already donated 20 acres worth of potatoes to this program, And right now, we're dealing with 10 tons of carrots. It's just amazing to see what's coming out. So this Meals on Wheels also has a little processing plant, if you will, for fresh produce, so that can be used here. And I think some of the overflow will also go to other needy areas in the community. So that's really a cool aspect.
Yeah.
One of the local companies in town here in Sheboygan is Vollrath Company, and they are a worldwide player in the food service equipment world. They go way beyond their claim to fame of smallwares. They also do some really great cooking equipment. And some of it is displayed right here. They were generous enough to donate these induction ranges. Induction range is a newer technology. It's really popular in Europe, and it's coming of age here in the United States. It operates completely different than any other electric type stove that you may find. These burners are actually electromagnets, and these are rheostats. In the induction range, you use a particular type of cooking equipment that you put on there. It's got a carbon bottom encased in the stainless steel, and when you turn on the rheostat, it creates an electromagnetic pulse at very high frequency that excites the elements in the base, and so the cooking ware is what actually heats up. If you have a pan boiling here, you can put your hands right here on the burner and it won't burn you. It's all inside of the equipment. Very efficient, heats up quickly, cools off. You don't have wasted heat, you don't have wasted energy. It's an awesome piece, and Vollrath was very generous to donate that. And then one of the comments made by the director was you can't have Sheboygan Meals on Wheels and not be able to do brats and things of that nature. So Vollrath also donated this 5-foot char broiler for us as well. And it was just a really great thing that they did for this project, along with other things. They completely outfitted this kitchen. Thank you, Vollrath.
One of the first things our clients will notice about the new Fresh Meals on Wheels program is the new packaging. These fabulous biodegradable trays will replace the tinfoil trays we've been using in past. Approximately 40% of Meals on Wheels clients have some form of dementia. Having them able to see our meals through the clear covering that will go over this tray will be one more cue to them to remind them to eat lunch. We want people to have as many nutrients going in as possible.
So one of my favorite aspects or features of this particular Meals on Wheels is this produce processing plant. I know it's small for a plant, but that's really kind of what it's technically called. But there is a lot of farm produce coming in here that's never had a chance to see anything but the inside of a truck. So it gets brought into this particular room, which is in the back corner of the facility. Produce comes in, and it starts out over here. I mean, we have a lot of rolling tables so they can work with it very easily. But it first comes to this major sink. This is where all the sun leaves come off. This is where the mud gets washed off and everything in this big tank. But that's not really enough to make sure that the produce is sanitized properly. So this Meals on Wheels also has a state-of-the-art produce washing system. It's got its own refrigeration unit in there to maintain temperature. And it uses a cleaner for the vegetables, which is basically grapefruit juice with a couple other additives in it. So it's also something you could actually eat. After the produce has been washed and everything in the machine, it needs to be frozen so that we can use it later on for recipes throughout the winter. So to do that, we have a vacuum sealing machine. But before you vacuum seal produce, you have to freeze it. You have to freeze it completely. And so in order to do that properly, we included a blast chiller in this facility. So it gets washed, it gets dried, and then it goes into the blast chiller and is brought down to freezing temperatures very rapidly. So after it's been blast chilled and vacuum packed, this plant also has its own little walk-in freezer where we can pre-stage all of the frozen stuff, keep it frozen before the food finds its way into the main freezer in the rest of the kitchen. We also have some racks out here for other produce. Like you don't want to freeze tomatoes necessarily or chill tomatoes. You need to keep some of your vegetables at room temperature. So we have some extra storage racks for them as well in here.
The biggest challenge was the amount of technology that had to go into the whole thing. Took a lot of planning up front, which we were able to do. Worked with a lot of different contractors, from the kitchen to the HVAC to the electrical, you name it, everybody had to be involved. Everything that's involved in this building now, like many new buildings, is all based around technology, security systems, door locks, you name it. So the biggest challenge was really putting that all together and having all the pieces fall in place. But it went very smooth. A lot of upfront planning paid off in the long run and worked out really well.
I didn't realize what a quality program we had until I went to the national convention, and it was actually humorous. At one of the sessions, a professor was giving a program, and I asked a question and commented on something, and then he said, well, come on up here. And I basically shared, as the rest of the program, what Sheboygan was doing. People could not understand the quality of our volunteers. They say, well, how do you do it? Well, it's because this is Sheboygan. Our people are incredible. Our volunteers are second to none, as I found out. And having gotten to know many of them, I can understand why. We have a staff that is probably as incredible as any staff I've ever been able to serve with or privileged to work with. Kelly is par excellence as far as an executive director, and every single one of the staff that is working alongside of her are what make this program work. And the result of it is that the people of Sheboygan County end up with a quality program that not only gives their families the security of knowing once a day their families are getting checked on, and secondly, that they're getting as good a food as they're going to get at a very reasonable price. So for me, it's really been like almost a kid in a candy shop. I've been just thrilled to be a part of this. And
it's all overwhelming. It's so much more than I anticipated. Understanding what we can do with the fresh vegetables and just how that whole process is going to work is just, I can't wait to see it in operation. I can't wait to see everything coming together. I can't wait to deliver meals outside of this building and running and just seeing everything working. The packaging of the meals. The other thing, the offices. It's just excellent, a great place for our people to work. And the fact that we're all in one place, that we've got one campus and everything can be done, and if there's a problem, it can be resolved immediately. I think just the overall concept is just unbelievable.
So it's wonderful as far as just the location and the easy access, and especially for the volunteers. When I go into the new building, even before it's completely finished, I get so excited to see that that the volunteers will be able to see the food and see where it's being made, and also to have a place to rest and to gather. It's always felt like we've been on a little borrowed territory, that it's not really the Meals on Wheels program. We're sort of sneaking in, getting the food, and then delivering it to people, whereas now it's going to be like, oh, this is our place. We get to produce the food, make the food, and then get it out to the people who are receiving the meals.
We're so proud of this. I was talking to Kelly just recently. It's been about a year and a half since we first came up with the thought that, golly, I think we should have our own building. Lo and behold, here we are. I think Kelly is still a little bit in shock about this, that she's got a kitchen and a cook and everything that she's got to deal with now. But our goal in all of this was to raise the quality of the meals, to take more charge of it so that we can handle that better ourselves, have more control over our destiny, but particularly to focus on the recipients of our meals, to make sure that we're giving them the very, very best that we possibly can deliver to them. These are your parents and your neighbors, and we want to treat them well. And thanks to the generosity of many of the people in this room, this is coming together very, very well. We appreciate that. If you haven't given, there's still time to give. We've still got a little gap there. But thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us with this beautiful facility. Kelly, do you have a couple of words?
Very, very few words, but mostly what I need to say to everybody is thank you so much for getting us to this point. As Dennis said, it's been a year and a half, and it's been an insane year and a half. The board decided it would be a good idea to buy a building. It's a good time to buy. We considered a kitchen over the years. Let's buy a building and build a kitchen. Yay. So that would be fine, just wonderful. But they also encouraged me to dream. If you could do whatever you wanted to do, what would you do? This is it. This is the actual embodiment of my dreams. This facility showcases the best of Sheboygan County. The manufacturing and ingenuity is all on display here. we have really been tremendously blessed by all of you. All of you are here because you've had some sort of substantial involvement in this project. None more so than Mr. Christopher. Jay Christopher has been incredibly kind to Meals on Wheels and to me as we've gone through this process and beforehand. He's actually the first person who said about 2 years ago, hey, you want a kitchen? And I said, no, I don't want a kitchen. I really don't. Please, let's start with a truck. It's a little, that was a big enough deal. But he has been such a stalwart supporter of all we've done. He's had his hand on the design of this project, giving wonderful feedback. So extremely grateful to him and his wonderful family. Thank you so much, Jay, for making this possible. This kitchen is tremendous. Thank you.
Well, really, congratulations to the board, to Kelly, to the community. I mean, this is just a great program for the community that's going to be out there for years and years to come. I think that's the beautiful thing of it. You think about, I'm at that age now where I'm starting to think, boy, how am I going to take care of myself? And what kind of meals am I going to be able to cook? And to think that I could reach out to this organization and have meals to get me through the week and the weekend is just a great feeling. So I really congratulate the entire Sheboygan County community for what they've been able to accomplish. And I know that little amount that we need to raise yet will be coming in the doors very quickly, and no debt, and we'll be off and running. Okay? So you need a haircut, or I can take down the shrubs. Okay. Ready?
Many times on projects, at last minute things come up that I think I was contacted by Kelly regarding the coffee bar, that the volunteer that was going to put this together wasn't able to do this, and I said I'd love to take care of it. I got so involved in this project that it's one of those projects that you really get excited about. So we had our people in the shop, John Tuma, who was a very skilled craftsman, came up with kind of a mutual concept for it and built what you see here today, which is going to be hopefully enjoyed by many visitors and volunteers that are going to be coming into the Meals on Wheels site here. So again, it's going to be in honor of my mother, who we actually are serving. The Meals on Wheels organization is serving her and has been for the last few months here, and really has been enjoying the meals.
Hi, I'm Saunders Cohn. I'm from KP Welding. I'm a Sheboygan Rotary member, and that's where I volunteer for Meals on Wheels. The most fun I've ever had at Meals on Wheels is making this fork. Congratulations on your new building.
Here at Patheon Consulting would really like to congratulate Meals on Wheels on the overall outcome of what they've done here. It's really going to, we believe, be a large or huge value to the community, and taking on this new endeavor of doing your own meals. We're really happy to be a part of that and would like to congratulate you and hope for your future success.
So from all of us at Mayline, congratulations on your new building. It just looks beautiful.
I feel it's wise dollars spent. It was recycling an existing building that had been vacant for a number of years, and putting it back to a good use. People had questioned me, is this the best location? And as I learned more, I found that yes, it is a good location. It's close to the Sheboygan users, and also for getting to Sheboygan Falls, to Kohler, to Plymouth, and I was sold from day one. I don't do a lot of projects where I'm not really convinced with the whole operation, but I was, as I was informed more, I was impressed with what was being done here, and that's why it is a project from my heart too, that trying to help this and make this happen.
And one of the things I would like to say is that I would like to thank all the people who support Meals on Wheels, from the volunteers to the contributions to all that put their time and efforts into it, including the staff, because without that, this organization wouldn't be able to do what it does in this community, which is such a great job.
I'm so excited about the fresh Meals on Wheels because ever since I've been involved with the local Sheboygan project Going Fresh, I keep reading newspaper articles, and everything I hear is about this is a trend for the future. This is a growing movement, and that Sheboygan, that our local Meals on Wheels is being a part of that, is actually being on the forefront, is very exciting.
My name is Betsy Jones Michael. I'm standing in the remarkable new building of Meals on Wheels in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. It has been my pleasure to donate some of my late husband, James Michael's paintings for Meals on Wheels colorful walls. For over 30 years, he painted the history of Sheboygan and Sheboygan County, its local buildings, activities, and the abundant rolling hills of the county that he loved. Our community is proud to be a provider of good food in this new era for Meals on Wheels.
Good things do happen in Sheboygan County. Thank you to all of the donors and volunteers who've made this possible. We take care of our neighbors the old-fashioned way, one fresh meal at a time.